Hey there, let's make a little turkey together for Thanksgiving. Today we're going to be using these materials. So I've got some honey bunny velvet or blanket yarn, and then I have my 6.5-inch hook, and then I've got some other colors here, as you can see. So to begin, we are going to chain 2, and then we're going to work 9 single crochets into the second chain from the hook. So we're starting with the bottom of the body. Now I should mention that this one is based on my written pattern called the Tiny Turkey. The Tiny Turkey we use size 3 or 4, I think it's 3 yarn, so DK sized yarn, a much smaller hook, and it ends up being quite a little tiny guy. But I thought we would try this in blanket or velvet and see how he comes out. So here we are, we're just about at the end of our first round, and now what we'll do is increase a round. So we'll put 2 stitches into each single crochet there, taking us from 9 stitches up to 18. So again, we're just increasing a round. Okay, here we go, just about at the end here. Now we're going to increase again. We're going to go up to 27 stitches. So we'll single crochet into the next stitch, followed by an increase. We'll do that 9 times, taking us from 18 stitches to 27 stitches. So you're going to start to see that it's kind of ruffling around a little bit, and that's okay. See, it's sort of bumpy. So that's okay. As we build it, it's going to work itself out. So let's increase the next round from 27 stitches up to 36 stitches. So we'll go single crochet into the next 2 stitches followed by an increase. We do that 9 times. So single, single, increase, single, single, increase 9 times, and taking us up to 36 stitches. All right, here we go. So now we've come to the end of 36 stitches. It's pretty ruffly, but that's okay. So what we're going to do is build the sides. We're going to single crochet up to round 13. We're not increasing or anything, just single crocheting around. And here we go. Now we finished, it looks like a cup. We're up to round 14 now. So now we're going to start to actually decrease. So we'll go single, single, decrease, single, single, decrease all the way around, taking us from 36 stitches down to 27 stitches. All right, so now for round 15, we're just going to single crochet around. We're not adding or decreasing. So that's 27 stitches. Okay, so now at round 16, we're going to decrease it down to 18. So we'll go single crochet, decrease, single crochet, decrease, taking us from 27 stitches to 18 stitches for round 16. And now for round 17, we're just going to single crochet around. Time to stuff and shape. So we need to get some stuffing into this, and I just need to go run and grab my stuffing. So bear with me, please. Here I come, here I come. All right, so when we're stuffing, we just take a little bit at a time and we support the outside of the piece. So the reason why is because we don't want to have all those lumps and bumps sort of showing up. We want it to be evenly filled. So take your time with this. You don't want to stuff it so much that the stuffing shows through the stitches. So small pieces are good, and then you can spend some time filling in the gaps. So just take your time with this, and we'll get it all stuffed, or mostly stuffed, before we finish this up. Yeah, I'm just going to test it a little bit. I can see, sort of feel where there are some gaps around here. Okay, I felt one there. You can kind of see it on the side even. So I'll just pop some stuffing in there. And let's see, a little bit more, just a little bit more right there. And I think, will that do? I think that'll do. Okay, so now for our last round, what we'll do is just decrease around. So that'll take us to 9 stitches. Now you're going to want to keep your tension nice and tight here. This is often where we're going to see gaps showing up, if we're going to see gaps in our work. So just keep your tension very tight and just be really careful not to grab the fiber fill with your hook, because that's quite easy to do as well. Coming to the end of our last round, now we're going to fasten it off. We're going to leave a 9 or 12-inch tail and zip it through. Okay, and then I'm just going to add a little bit more stuffing just to the top there to make sure that the top is nice and full. And there's a little gap there, so let's pop that in there. Just really being careful to not overstuff it. See, I'm using very small bits now just to fill in those gaps, but I really don't want to be able to see that stuffing between the stitches. I'll just go and get my tapestry needle. I'm going to use my blunt tapestry needle and pop the yarn onto the tapestry needle. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to work in the front loops only, and I'm going to weave the tail through the last round, through each of the front loops of the last round. And here we go. This is kind of a nice project to do. You can do this one for little people because there are no buttons. Remember, we aren't going to use buttons or safety eyes for the little people. Okay, I'm just going to tighten that and then fasten it off. I'm going to tie my knot nice and tight. Then I'm going to sort of weave this tail back in and out. And you just want to make sure that you do this a few times. Otherwise, that tail is going to work itself out. And yeah, so you don't want that to happen. Okay, shape it, shape it, shape it. Looks good. I like it. Time to begin on the tail. So we're going to change this from the written pattern just because the yarn, because it's so bulky, it makes quite a difference in terms of the size of the tail. So we will, as usual, we're going to chain 2, and then we're going to work 9 single crochets into the second chain from the hook. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 rounds of brown, orange, yellow, and red, and we are going to just leave the beige. We won't use the beige. So we're just going to finish this first round, and then in our second round we are going to increase a round, taking us again from 9 stitches to 18 stitches. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to change colors. So I'll put my brown away, and I'm going to bring in this orange. This orange is a little bit thicker than the other yarn, so we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to slip stitch in. I'm going to increase this round to 27. We'll go single crochet into the next stitch, followed by an increase. We do that 9 times. So single crochet, increase, up to 27 stitches. Okay, let's just single crochet around for the next round. And yeah, you'll see that there's quite a difference between what I've got here is my bulky yarn. The brown is a regular bulky chunky yarn, whereas the orange and the yellow that I have are super bulky. So it will make a difference in terms of size and the size of the tail, and then as far as it being sort of ruffled, you'll sort of notice that it gets quite ruffled, which is actually what we want. So that works for me. Okie dokie, here we go. Let's change colors. So I'm going to snip this. And to change color, by the way, we're going to start a single crochet with the first color, then we're going to finish it with the second color. So let's just get that yellow ready to go. So I'm going to start my single crochet. I've already started. You can see I've got 2 loops on the hook. Now I'm going to finish it with the yellow. Okay, so for this round, we're going to take it up to 36 stitches. We'll go single, single, increase, single, single, increase, taking us from 27 stitches up to 36 stitches. All right, and for our next round, let's just single crochet around, no increases, no decreases. All right, let's change color to red. So I'm going to start that single crochet, snip off the yellow, and clean up a little bit. That's the thing with this blanket yarn, it really seems to shed. And now we'll grab our red and we'll just finish that single crochet that we started with the yellow. And what we're going to do is bring it up to 45 stitches. So let's zip it on here. And then in order to do that, we're going to go single, 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 followed by an increase. Here's our increase. So we're going to do that 9 times, taking us from 36 stitches up to 45 stitches. All right, and now we're going to work on the last round for our tail. And this one's a little bit funny because what we want to do is create a ruffle. So what we're going to do is we're going to go single crochet, chain 1, and then single crochet into the same space again. We're going to do that all the way around. So single crochet, chain 1, single crochet into the same space. And that's going to create kind of a ruffle at the end of our tail. Okay, there we go. You can kind of see that ruffle now. And so what we'll do is we're going to just fasten that off, and I'm going to show you a little trick for what to do here. So I'm just going to weave in this tail. Okay, grab my tapestry needle and weave in the tail. And then after that, we are going to fold this baby in half. And it sounds like someone's doing the dishes upstairs, so sorry if that's distracting. All right, there we go. I'm just going to tie it so it doesn't come out. I don't want that end to work its way out. There we go. And now you'll see I've got this, see, we're going to fold it. So we'll fold it so we can hide all of these tails. But then if you look here, I have some worsted weight yarn. The reason why I'm going to use worsted weight yarn to sew this closed is because when you try to sew with the blanket yarn, it sort of breaks, like the fibers come off. So I'm just going to tie on this yellow worsted weight yarn, and I'm going to hide this tail. I'm going to just pop it through right back here because I'm going to be that's going to go in with where the fold is. So I'm going to just fold it in half, and then I'm going to sew, make sure all these ends are in. I'm going to sew along this yellow, the edge of the yellow blanket yarn. Now you don't need to worry that this is going to show up. You won't see it. The blanket yarn is so thick and so plush that it will just hide this worsted weight yarn. So I'm just going to sew these two pieces together, the yellow to the yellow, and then what we'll do is we'll sew it onto the body. Okay, there we go. All right, kind of give it a little squish. And now we are going to attach them. We're going to attach it onto the back of the body. We want it to sit just like this because we want the little turkey to stand up. We want to basically be able to put them on a table. So this would be really a cute idea, like a hostess gift. If you're going, someone invites you over for Thanksgiving dinner, this would be really cute to bring for a table center. So you'll see that I'm sewing the tail to the body along that bottom edge of the tail. Again, you'll see that, we don't really have to worry about that yellow yarn showing up here because the plush blanket yarn just really hides it. And I'm going to just make sure that it's nice and even. Yep, looks good. Keep going. Okay, yeah, I like it. Now, here's the thing. We need to make sure that we go up a little bit higher on the tail and on the body to bring the tail closer to the body so it doesn't just flap over. So we're just going to secure it up here so that we want the tail to kind of stay where we want it. So that's why we're adding this. I'm going to pull this out, adjust things, make it kind of ruffly, and that looks great. So I'm just going to tie it off and hide this this tail. Okay, looks good. Zip. There we go. Let's see. Yep, looks good. I like it. The last thing that we need to do is our finishing touches. So we're going to start with black. We're going to do eyes. And we're going to just pop that in here. It doesn't matter really where, anywhere is fine. And we're going to go center front, a little bit off to the right side. And we're going to do a diagonal stitch up and a diagonal stitch down. So what we're doing is 2 straight stitches in an upside down V. And then I'm going to poke it over about 4 or 5 stitches away from that first eye. So these are called cheerful eyes, by the way. This is a nice piece as well if you want to make something for the little ones at Thanksgiving. It's a nice little surprise. And because there aren't any, stuff that's going to really pop off, like there's no eyes or anything like that, it makes it a nice little gift for those little people. And you can even put in something to make it rattle. That's even, this is a great pattern for that as well. So I'm just going to get rid of this, hide these black tails. If I can get them into the tapestry needle, there we go. Pull it through and there we go, looks good. And I just want to get rid of that, hide that. Yep, looks good. And you'll see how I'm sort of using my needle to sort of move things around a little bit. Okay, time for the beak. So we'll just zip it on here. And we're gonna go the center and we're gonna go over 2 rounds. So you'll see I'm gonna go centered between the eyes. There we go. And then I want it to be over 2 rounds. So it's going to be sort of a long couple of stitches. I'm just doing straight stitches here. One on top of the other. They look like they're side by side. There we go. So 1, 2, 3. And then it's going to actually be 4. And just pop that through. Now one thing you'll notice is that I'm not popping it through exactly where I started. I need to catch another bit of that brown yarn because otherwise the beak could just be pulled out. This way, if I catch that brown yarn, the beak it's gonna be anchored in, so it won't fall out or be able to be pulled out. There we go. And again, the nice thing about this blanket yarn is that it really hides a lot of this worsted weight yarn. Now, the next part, you may be questioning me, and that's okay. But I always add a little bit of pink onto my pieces for cheeks. Now, does a turkey have rosy cheeks? Well, mine do. I just think it looks cute. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to go 2 stitches long, 2 stitches, one on top of the other. These are horizontal straight stitches just underneath the eyes. And I'm making sure that they're nice and tight, but not too tight. There we go. And pop it on through. Then we're almost finished. Got some yellow yarn up there too. So I've got just a little finishing touch for our little turkey. Okay. Pop it out, get out of that, get out of there. Okay, finishing touch. We're gonna add some little feathers on the top. Almost look like little hairs, so we're just gonna tie some yarn onto the top, just in knots. And same with the yellow. You'll notice that these are all worsted weight. I think that the blanket yarn would not work as well here, simply because it frays, and I think it would look, I'm not sure. I think it would just look kind of messy. Now I'm going to trim these to, I don't know, about a an inch and a half. And there we go. Fini. And I'm going to spend a little bit of time. Yeah, no, actually it's perfect. I love it. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it. Tag me if you make one.